inside the vehicle. If there are children with you, please make sure that they are supervised, not standing, moving, trading places, or being lifted up like baby Simba, because this is not the Lion King show. The ride will be bumpy, so please make sure you're holding on to your personal items. And we're not going to snack on board because we don't want to share any of our treats with the animals that we will be seeing today. And we're going to keep the volume low so that we do not startle or disturb the animals, as many of them do have sensitive hearing. Everybody good with this, friends?
Yes.
Fantastic. So Jumbo is Swahili for hello. So Jumbo, my name is Jennifer, and I'm going to be your safari guide today. So as we look over to the right-hand side, we're going to see the Okapi. The Okapi look like they could be related to the zebra because of the stripes along their back and legs, but they are actually related to a giraffe. Also on the right-hand side, there is a saddle-billed stork. The saddle-billed stork stands about 5 feet tall and wades through the water on long legs, hunting for small fish. So in the forest, there are a lot of trees and bushes and shadows and vines and things that animals will use, like fallen logs or rocks or rock walls, to conceal and camouflage as part of their natural environment. They will either use their physical characteristics or their behaviors to help them in this type of environment. If you look over to the left-hand side, there is a black rhino. The average black rhino weighs in on the left-hand side at around 3,000 pounds. When they're on the move, they can travel around 30 to 35 miles an hour. Also on the right-hand side, these are the bongo, closer to us. They have unique curved horns, and they can walk on the tips of their hooves, which makes them almost silent through the forest. After that, those are the greater kudu on the right-hand side. Greater kudu will self-isolate from one another if they feel threatened. And they will spread out their herd. This makes them less vulnerable to predators in the area. This is a real truck on a real road, and somebody thought it'd be a great idea to hand me a set of keys and ask me to drive y'all around today. So here we are. The ride will be bumpy, so again, hold on to your personal items and remain seated at all times for your safety. Over on the right-hand side of the Safi River, these are the pink-back pelicans. The pink-back pelicans get their name from the pink colorations along their back and sides. When they spread their wings, you can really see that a little bit more clearly. It is faint, but in their mating season, it does become more prominent. Their wingspan reaches between 7 and 9 feet wide. Over on the left-hand side, these are the hippos. You can see them submerged in the water on the left. Hippos do spend most of their day submerged in the water. A group of hippos is called a bloat. And the average hippo weighs in at around 5,500 pounds. When they submerge underwater, they can stay there between 5 and 7 minutes before coming up for air. So it is important to note that clean water is a vital resource to, whether it's a pond, a river, a watering hole, or the ocean. Clean water is an essential resource for many animals. And we're going to conclude our journey alongside the Safi. And we're going to look over to the left-hand side, and we're going to see the Nile crocodile. The Nile crocodile are the largest of the African crocodile species. By the shape of their snout. Male and female Nile crocodiles will take their eggs in their mouth to soften the exterior of the eggshell. This enables the reptile within to hatch more easily. Another fascinating thing that reptiles like these will do is open up their mouths. And when they do, they release body heat, which enables them to better regulate their body temperature, especially on a hot day.
That was the monkeys with
We are entering into the savannas of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. And as we do, you'll notice that this is more open, dry grass flatland as opposed to the dense trees and bushes of the Ituri forest. And there's no river running through it. So again, more open, dry grass flatlands. As we come across different animal species, I'll point them out to you and give you some information about each one. So over up on our right-hand side, there are Antelope cattle. The Antelope cattle are ancient species. They date back to the Egyptian pyramids, where there are images of them etched into the pyramid walls. Now, they are bovine. They are related to the buffalo as well as the bison. And those large horns are not just for show, but they help the Antelope cattle better regulate its body temperature by drawing heat away from its body. Looking over on our left-hand side, look at the top of the den, and you will see laying down on top is a spotted hyena.
Hyena?
I don't see it.
Well, hyenas are not true scavengers. They will actually hunt and eat their own fresh prey. Some more Antelope cattle on our left-hand side.
Look how close.
Look.
Lily, look it. Lily, look. Over there, look.
We're coming between termite mounds on our left and right. And termite mounds are very hard, similar to concrete. And you'll notice they do have holes in them. Those holes help to circulate and ventilate fresh air all the way through the whole entire structure from the top all the way down to the base. In the base, that's where they have their food storage areas. That is where the larvae are and where the royal chambers are located. Termites are kind of like ants in that they do have a queen termite, like ants have a queen ant. And then there are worker termites, just like there are worker ants. Small antelope with white underbellies. Those are called springboks. Springbok get their name from the way that, quite literally, they spring up in the air. On average, they can leap upwards of around 6 feet, and when they're on the move, they can leap forward around 13 feet. And then just on the other side of the hill right there are some wildebeest. Now, wildebeest generally travel in very densely packed herds. And when they migrate together over several thousand miles, stopping only periodically for water.
Look, giraffes. Over there on daddy's side.
Oh, looking over on our left-hand side, those are the Maasai giraffe.
Giraffe.
The Maasai giraffe can be identified by their patterns, which are rough-edged. Scientists estimate that there are between 4 and 7 different species of the giraffe, and the Maasai is just one of them. The average giraffe is about 18 to 20 feet tall. The length of a giraffe's tongue is in proportion to its body, about 18 to 20 inches long. And the male giraffe will weigh in about 3,000 pounds, and the female about half that weight. ready over on the right-hand side because there's an African elephant on our right.
Elephant.
And as we observe the African elephant, you'll note that their ears are how we identify them because their ears are roughly the shape of the outline of the continent of Africa. There are two elephants.
Oh.
And when an elephant is flapping its ears like it is stimulating blood flow through the blood vessels in those ears, which help to regulate body temperature. So whether it is the African elephant flapping its ears, the Ankole cattle having those great large horns, or even the Nile crocodile that holds open their mouths to relieve body heat, animals have characteristics or features as well as behaviors that enable them to better survive in their environments. Now in just a moment we're going to be passing by the red clay pits, and that's going to be an important natural resource for the African elephants. So we're going to cross over this bridge and then we will here we're going to be passing by the red clay pits, and that's a great natural resource for the African elephants. The red clay contains essential vitamins and nutrients that the African elephants need, and when you look to the right hand side you can see where they have made their chip marks on the wall using their tusks. Over on the left-hand side, there are some more African elephants. And the African elephants have the external ivory tusks, but did you realize that hippos also have ivory tusks? Those are interior, inside their mouths, so we do not always get to see them, but they are there. And those are considered a soft ivory, where the African elephant tusks are considered a soft ivory.
What happened? Is this something we can see lions?
I don't know if we can see lions.
Yeah, because it's sign those says it. Oh, I see a tiny lion.
Look over there.
Yeah, the other.
Look, elephants, Lily. Elephants. Elephants.
I can see them when I they're not. See the lion come over there?
As we observe the African elephants over on our left-hand side, you'll notice they are using their trunks. The average elephant trunk can hold about 5 gallons worth of water. Now, they do not drink through their trunks, but they will suck up water into it and then spray it in their mouth or somewhere else. Also, their trunks are referred to as prehensile, which means that as we are observing, they can grip and grab onto things and pick things up. Interestingly, a giraffe's tongue is also prehensile because it can grip and grab onto things like leaves and branches as well.
Flamingos.
Mommy.
Coming up on our left-hand side, we're going to be able to see the greater flamingos.
Flamingos? What are those still flamingos?
Greater flamingos are famous for their pink colorations, and that pink color comes from their diet, which consists primarily of brine shrimp. That brine shrimp contains keratin, and that's where they get the pink colorations from. Now, when flamingos are born, they are not pink and they are not white, they are actually gray. And as we come around the corner, if you look over, there's also another African elephant a little bit further back, and some baby ducklings in the water.
Yeah. Those sounds like flamingos. Flamingos. Because the pink is still inside them, not on top.
Over here at the mud wallow on our left-hand side, and mud is another amazing natural resource. Animals will use mud to cool off when they wallow in it. They will use mud to be an insect repellent, and they will also use mud to coat their hides with like a sunscreen to prevent sunburn. And up ahead, crossing in front of us, are a couple ostrich. Ostriches are the largest land bird. They do lay the largest eggs and have the largest eyes. I know you want to cross in front.
Why?
Yes, you do. Keep going. There you go. There you go. Alrighty. You're almost there. Ostriches are also the only birds that have 2 toes. And on their 2 legs, they can run at about 40 miles an hour, which makes them the fastest thing on 2 legs. Oh, I see you up ahead. I think we're going to play follow the leader now.
It's not going to go 40.
And then if you look over to the left-hand side, up on the hill, just between the fallen branches, you're going to see 2 cheetahs. You've got to have some really good spotting eyes. They're in the shadows over there. Cheetahs are the fastest land cat, 0 to 60 in just under 3 seconds.
Wow.
Oh, and we're going to stop
Look,
right
Puppy,
here.
look, a rhino.
Go over to the right-hand side, and we're going to see a white rhino.
You see it?
White rhinos weigh in at around 5,000 pounds. And when they're on the move, they can travel around 30 to 35 miles an hour.
Quick.
Look, the ostrich.
Over on our left-hand side, we are circling the Okapi rocks, and we're going to quietly come up alongside because, as I mentioned, many of the animals here do have sensitive hearing, and one of those is the white rhino. So we have to be very quiet as we approach so that we do not disturb them or startle them. They have eyesight about 5 to 10 feet in front of them, and after that, their hearing is what they rely upon to navigate. The average white rhino weighs in at around 5,000 pounds, and they can gallop around 30 to 35 miles an hour. Clearly not right now.
Look, and there's more over there. Oh, they're playing. Look. Look, they're playing. Mm-hmm.
Reserve Safari 7.
That was big.
Yeah, that is a big bird.
Wildlife Reserve, animals do have the right of way. So we will maintain our position holding until the large white rhino decides to move on. We like to call this a little bit of a giraffic jam.
Giraffe.
That guy is huge. Huh? How can you tell?
Daddy.
Now you just have 2 feet in the road. Okay. Rhinos are very large. The word white does not actually refer to their colorations. The word
the
white was a
lions!
miscommunication. The word is supposed to be vit, which means broad or wide. Instead, somebody heard it and thought they heard white, so then they became white rhinos. A white rhino weighs in at around 5,000 pounds, a black rhino around 3,000 pounds, so larger than the white. The average hippo weighs in at around 5,500 pounds, so the hippo is just a little bit larger than that of a white rhino. Now what I love about the white rhinos as well as the black rhinos are their horns. Their horns are made out of the same material as our fingernails. On our right hand side, those are water buck, and they're very easy to remember. Their names are water buck, and they stay near the water.
Let's talk about the lions.
Yeah.
Up on my favorite spot in the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. If everyone looks over to the left-hand side, you're going to see Nigerian dwarf goats. Now, dwarf goats are popular with local farmers because they are smaller than traditional cattle, taking up less land space, and can still be a resource for milk.
I think the female on Monday will come here.
Enjoyed their journey through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve this evening. And for my wilderness explorers on board, you need to remember symbol 1,